Oh my God, Ben, what have you done to me? I gotta clean all this crap up now. Don't feel bad, Ben. This is needed done for a long time now. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna have our third ever installment of a fun series I like to call Ask Max. And that is when anybody and everybody out there on internet land can either leave a comment or email me a question and I will do my best to answer it. How this has worked so far is usually someone will say something, I'll make an offer, and they accept it, so I make a video response to them. But that's the whole idea. So if you see anything in any of my videos or anything like that you're curious about and you want to ask me, drop a comment or email me, and the address is down in the description. And what we are here to talk about today is my opinion or thoughts on the Harbor Freight 30-inch 5-drawer mechanics cart. And you'll notice this guy here is not one of those. This is a Cornwell box that I've owned for about 12 and a half years now that is just incredibly similar to the Harbor Freight box. And the reason this came up is because when I released my video of my Harbor Freight roll-around shop cart, one of my viewers said he was thinking about getting that 5-drawer Harbor Freight cart. And I said, hey man, I know those things are popular on YouTube. I know that a lot of people mod them and stuff, but I don't think I would do that. I think I would go another way. And that other way I would go is another toolbox I happen to own, which is this guy right here, this guy with the stainless drawers. And if you'd like, I'll do a kind of a comparison contrast between the two ideas so that you see where I'm coming from. It doesn't matter that this isn't a Harbor Freight cart. It's close enough that when we discuss the concept of why I'm not really in love with this idea and much prefer this idea, that you guys will see what I mean. And before we get too much more carried away with anything here, I think it's important to tell you guys that of these 5 toolboxes I own, the only one I actually bought with my own money is Mr. Stainless Steel Drawers there. These 2 over here were a Christmas gift from my dad one year, like 20 years ago. Like 3 years before that, that was a Christmas gift from my dad, that Craftsman box. And that one I actually won in a raffle at a drag racing event that I used to attend every year. So before I go on to make any criticisms about any of this stuff whatsoever, let me throw it out there that when I tell you the things I don't like about this box, if someone from the real world that actually knows me should happen to bump into this video, this box in particular is one of my most prized possessions. I wouldn't give this box up for anything. But that's because of the history I have with it, not because of the kind of box it is. And I have always appreciated owning this box, so we'll say that. And the Craftsman boxes, same story. Those are very dear to me, all that. These 2 Craftsman boxes on the end, I did pick out though. These are exactly what I asked for, and that's what Dad got me. So I did select 3 of these myself. The fact that the only one I actually decided to buy with my own money is this guy should tell you something. And what that guy is a Seville Classics Ultra HD rolling cabinet. That thing comes flat packed like IKEA furniture and you have to put it together. I'll tell you straight off the bat, that thing is not as high quality as the Cornwell, or it's a little nicer than the Craftsman's if I'm honest. And it's probably not as high quality as the Harbor Freight box either. For the sake of this comparison, we're going to assume that this is a Harbor Freight box. It's within 1 inch of every dimension of the Harbor Freight box, and I believe they're probably so similar it doesn't even matter. And the first thing you're going to notice right off the bat, which is exactly what I said to the guy that asked me to make this video, is that you can put so much more stuff in a setup like this than you can in a setup like this. Mine has 4 drawers, Harbor Freight has 5. But this wide open bottom here ends up mostly wasted space, and since it has a hinging lid on the top, you can't stack stuff on it. And you can't really do anything else with it. But the biggest thing I wanted to convey is just what a space grab this thing is on the shop floor for what you really get out of it. So when you decide to invest in a cart like this, you're basically committing that footprint of shop space, which is like 40 inches by 25 or so, for life, for only being that, because to use it at all you have to have that lid open. So all the real estate above the box is absorbed. And you can see my other boxes, I've put other boxes on. In fact, these 3 used to all be stacked, but even with me being a pretty tall guy, I'm 6'4", that was too tall to be useful, which is one of the reasons why I bought this Seville box here. So other than the fact that you can't stack stuff on top of it, this space at the bottom for my usage, this is just wasted space really. All I keep down here is stuff that I don't need all the time. Like there's some wood blocks there that I use for shimming stuff or for beaten sticks. There's a black iron pipe there that I use as a cheater bar on my breaker bar. I've got my cordless Sawzall and my corded Sawzall down there. A slide hammer kit. I think there's a sander down there. I always have my drill down there right on top, so it's just handy to get to. But for the most part, if I want to get something out of there that isn't the drill, but for me it's just super inconvenient to get to that stuff. It wastes, in my opinion, about a foot of height, and the entire footprint of the box is just gone. You know, I could put that crap anywhere, really. It is handy to have it in one place, but I'd rather have it in a drawer. And for some perspective, you can see the bottom drawer in the Seville unit is almost the same height as that just wide open nook in like the Harbor Freight box. So you can put just a boatload of stuff in this bottom drawer and then be able to open the drawer and actually access all the stuff. One knock I'll give to the Seville box right off the bat is the weight capacity is about half that of the Harbor Freight box. I promise you that for all the time I've owned all these toolboxes, they have been overloaded by double for probably that entire time. My opinion is if you don't really move these things around, they just sit in your shop the way mine do, that it really doesn't matter. If you want to, you can just put them on 4x4 blocks, and if the bottom bows out of one, then that's what happens. I've never seen that happen. All my buddies I've known that have had all manner of, we'll say, junk quality toolboxes like Craftsman's and stuff you get at Lowe's and places like that, nobody has ever blown out the bottom of their toolbox. I'm sure you can, but I don't know of anybody that's happened to. So with that discussion behind us, I also believe the Harbor Freight toolbox also comes with like a flip-up shelf on the side. It looks like some of them do, some of them don't. If you guys watched my video about my little roll-around cart, that would do me absolutely no good whatsoever because that just makes it needlessly wider. It also has a handle on the side, and so did this Cornwell box until I took it off and threw it away a few years ago. Because it's just in my way, I don't need it. I can just grab the box and push it around. On the contrary, the Seville box, they did the smart thing and put the handle on the frickin' front of it, which is where they always should be, because they don't interfere with anything in your shop, because the drawer's open from the front, so you're going to have 2 feet of real estate open in front of it just to get in it anyway. And unlike any other toolbox I've ever owned, this thing came with 4 swivel casters. So you don't have to try and steer it around like a shopping cart. You can actually just pack it in wherever you want to go. So just from a design concept, I like that a lot better. So extra crap sticking off the side of my toolbox is offensive to me. But if you actually wanted to use that little flip-up table as a work surface, that's actually another check mark in the box for this guy over here, is because you get that solid wood top that is a workbench already. It comes straight out of the box as a workbench, and that's I think a 3/4 inch top on it, and it is actually solid wood. It's not a solid piece, it's been laminated together, but yeah, nice. Another issue is that between these two on a cost basis, right now, they're actually exactly the same price. The downside is that the Ultra HD Seville stuff, you pretty much have to buy at Sam's Club. They'll ship it to you for free. I think any order over $200, they'll ship for free. These are 199 bucks. So you buy a jar of peanuts in one of these and it's free shipping. Those at Harbor Freight right now are on sale for 199 bucks too. So from a cost perspective, they're basically the same thing. Although I'll concede that the Harbor Freight box is probably higher quality. I just don't at all prefer the layout that I have going on here versus what I could have over here. So the Seville box gives you the opportunity to put things on top of it in the future if you don't want to use it as a work surface. And you just don't have that out of the Harbor Freight box. That's my number one gripe. My number two gripe is that this wide open hole down here at the bottom for me is just a waste of space. And I'm sure people customize that for various usages and for how they want to use their toolbox. But for me, it's always just kind of been pointless. And another comment I'll make on this concept versus that concept is you can see how much deeper this box is than that one. And you can see it's just a ton deeper than my Craftsman boxes too. These are basically the deepest toolbox drawers I've ever seen without getting into like a really high-end toolbox. I just measured and they're 22.5-inch deep drawers. That's completely nuts. I think the Craftsman drawers, like on the small one that's parked on top of this box, I think are like 14, 12, something like that. And because these drawers are so ridiculously large for the overall size and price of the box, you can put a crazy amount of stuff in each drawer of this thing. I counted up the other night, there are 30 sets of pliers in here. In that little pouch there are 4, just 4 like small precision ones. So if I took them out of there and threw that thing away, I could probably put another 3 or 4 pairs of regular size pliers in here. So in just one drawer of this thing, there are 30 sets of pliers with no particular thought put into going out of my way to really organize them. And for the most part, they're all on first order retrieval, which means I can just grab a set and take off with it. I don't have to move something else to get to something else. So yeah, 30 frickin' sets of pliers in here. In the next drawer down, I have another 22 sets of pliers and I think 3 grabby tools. And some of these pliers are huge too. This drawer isn't as well organized, but that's because these are stuff I don't use as often anyway. This set of channel locks is like 15 inches long. They're giant. You know, these are absolutely giant needle nose pliers. So you can just pack a ton of crap into one of these things without going through any real extraordinary effort to do it. So like all of my videos that I make like this, I'm not telling you guys that you should go do, you know, one thing or the other thing, or that some third or 30th option that's out there in someone else's mind isn't a better answer for you. These are just my opinions between these two concepts. I feel like this one gives you a lot more actual organization for your money, and more importantly, for the footprint it takes up in your shop. If you're a young guy just starting out and you don't have a whole ton of tools, you don't know how tight space becomes later on when you do. You can book a toolbox out with so much crap so fast it'll make your head spin. And you can't just add toolboxes forever to your garage, or else you just won't have a garage anymore. To that end, I am now extremely poorly utilizing this box because the Seville box holds everything that was in that one and half the stuff that was in these two. My boxes are really underutilized right now and really poorly organized, except the Seville box because it's the one I got a year and a half ago and just set up. But also to that point, I'm no longer a big fan of this box over here, despite me owning this box for 23 years and it being a gift and I'd never get rid of it and all that good stuff, because of that flip top lid. If I could turn back time and tell my dad, you know, don't get me this box, get me one of these, even though it has fewer drawers, because I can put other stuff on top of it, I would totally do that. If I could turn back time and flip these two around, that's what I would have asked for. So yeah, having this just space to put this tote up here with a bunch of sprays and crap in it, if I could do that again over here, it'd be awesome. Because as you can see, this is way overflowing and disorganized too. So just some food for thought, guys. If you're thinking about that Harbor Freight cart and how you want to use it and the amount of tools you have and what your shop looks like and everything, and I'm telling you stuff you already know and you've thought about it and this is what you want to do, you know, don't let me try and stop you. Go grab it, man. I'm sure it's a good deal. For 200 bucks, it's hard to beat anything, right? But if you're still up in the air and you're thinking about the future a little more and you really don't know what to do, I'm not telling you to buy one of these Seville boxes, but I'm telling you to consider buying a bottom box for more upgrade ability in the future. Because when you buy one of these, you're just kind of stuck. And I know guys do upgrade them in assorted ways with inserts and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about, because you could do the same stuff to any toolbox and make it your vision of whatever you wanted. So as always, guys, appreciate you stopping in. I want to thank my subscriber for throwing that question out and giving me a fun video idea. I hope you guys all found this helpful. We'll see you on the next one. I'm Max, that's Saddington Bear, and we make videos like this all the time. Here are a couple links to some other videos we've made, and we really appreciate you guys stopping in.